Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. This is my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So, a lot of stuff on the workbench this week. I finished off some more Starks for A Song of Ice and Fire, a whole bunch of Kill Team stuff from the new Kill Team 2-player starter set from Games Workshop, and also got to work on some new stuff for Infinity, and have a whole bunch of new projects, of course, today too to show you. So, yeah, I plowed through the Tau Fire Warriors. I actually used this as an excuse to finish off my Reaver squad for my Ultramarines. And I painted Stark Heroes 2. So let's take a look at what got done this week, and then all the stuff that is coming up. So first things first, here is the done pile. We're going to start off with the Song of Ice and Fire stuff. We have Stark Heroes 2, or as I would call it, the Children's Army. You have 4 kids, a dog, and like 2 adults that aren't super responsible, I guess. I kind of painted these in the order that I'll probably use them in. First I painted up Arya, the wolf girl. I love this miniature because it looks a lot like my daughter, actually, if my daughter had a sword, and she really enjoyed seeing it when it was done, because it's a little girl fighting with a sword, and she thought that was super cool. Of course, she's actually in the same pose as Sirio, who I haven't gotten finished yet, because he was the least likely to get used in the game right now. Then I painted up Mira, who is an awesome 1-point trapper attachment. She basically turns any Stark unit into a unit of free folk trappers. So she has an order when someone ends a move within, I think, long of her. They take a bunch of wounds, which is pretty great. Good for defending against things like the mountain that rides, all the little solos that are like fast, and even just putting some wounds on cavalry can be super duper handy. Or even finishing it off, you can trap them if they've only got a couple of wounds left. Then her brother, Jojen, who's less likely to get used because he's got like a random variable ability each round, including like just freaking out your unit. He can panic them when he has bad dreams. And then this triumvirate right here all get used together, which is Rickon Stark, the youngest of the Stark kids. He's accompanied by Shaggy Dog, his direwolf, and then Osha, who's a free attachment. If you take Rickon, she protects him. She's the spear wife that ambushed Bran and Rob early in the books, and ends up being like Rickon's minder basically. And actually, probably one of my favorite characters in the book. She's a hero in her own right. Basically, she takes charge of these kids even when she doesn't have to. So there's my 6 Song of Ice and Fire minis. Let's look at some Kill Team stuff. Holy Kill Team Batman. So the new 2-player starter set for Kill Team comes with Astartes and Tau. I spent most of my time painting the Tau. These 3 Astartes were just what I needed to finish off from my Ultramarines Kill Team. I've done these with some pretty super rad Green Stuff World Cobalt Blue transition paint. This is one of my favorite airbrush, or you can brush it on too, but I use it through an airbrush. Sort of like shimmer paints. It's got an awesome like pre-heresy vibe to their armor. I'm like really tempted to do an Ultramarine. Now there's an Ultramarine Codex, I'm really tempted to do an Ultramarine army in this style, because it's just like, it's quick, it looks really good. I don't know, it makes them menacing, and of course, looks particularly good on Reavers, who are supposed to be menacing, because they're terror troops with their like skull masks and stuff. But that finishes my 5-man Reaver squad, so that I can throw down some games, which you'll also see today up in the cards. And then I did I'm going to do a recipe for this on Instagram again, so you guys can check it out. I did a paint scheme for the Fire Warrior squad that comes in there. And I painted them as 2 squads. There's a 5-man Breacher team there with a leader, and then a 5-man Strike team with carbines and pulse rifles. And then the support drone and the 2 other little drones in the back there as well. This was, geez, I think maybe like 10 colors total. It's done from a Grey Seer spray, and then uses a bunch of different contrast paints to get this result. And it's maybe 1 big step, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paint colors, 9, 10 if you count the base. Like overall, I think it looks really sharp. Looks like on the box. The idea was just to mimic the box colors using the transition, the contrast paints, and I think it did a good job. Super simple, and yeah, like battlefield ready. And well, I painted these last night, so they were assembled yesterday morning, and then painted in about an hour and a half, 2 hours probably last night. Most of the wait time for this, because it's contrast paints, is drying time. But they're fun, and we're going to give them a try today, and again, you can watch that battle report between the Ultramarines. I didn't do my Space Wolves, although I have, like, I'm going to paint a Reaver squad for my Space Wolves. Right now I'm doing the Ultramarines, because I was literally halfway through the squad, and I figured it was just better to finish something than to start something brand new. And yeah, you can check that game out today. We'll do, I'm not going to do a GMG review for the box set because it's kind of the same box set as the previous one, but I am going to do a battle report and just like not like an unboxing, but like an overview of like the contents and stuff, which you can see today. And that'll be linked up in the cards. And next up is Escalation, the newest expansion for Blackstone Fortress, Warhammer Quest. This was, I want to spend time on these. Like the Tau, I can just like pound at a Tau squad really fast. But this is like a game I'm like super in love with, and just gorgeous miniatures. So I now have a reason I have to finish Obsidian Malix and finish the battle reports for this game, because I can't do Escalation until we finish the Vault quest, unfortunately. As far as Warhammer Quest expansions go, this is like a huge one. It adds some like new core mechanics to the game. You can see my GMG review of it today. But it presupposes I've done the hidden vault. So I have to kill this guy and do the final mission, which we're really close to right now. It's just been funny. I mean, I can film them all myself if I wanted to, but like it's more fun to do it with other players and people coming into play. Blackstone Fortress are like few and far between, so it's taken a while to do. But it does give me an excuse. I need to paint Malix. Now, he's literally the last of the miniatures from all the previous expansions and the previous game that I haven't painted, because we haven't done this Fortress run yet. And then I've got these awesome new stuff. So there's Cultists, like an awesome new Cultist frame. And it makes 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's 5 Cultists on the frame. Yeah, it looks like 5. No, wait, 6. Because there's a thing down here too. And if you notice, this is like just as usable Necromunda because it's got the heavy stubber. It has all the same weapons that the old Dark, was it not Dark Imperium, Dark Vengeance box set had. So you've got a heavy stubber. I think there's a flamethrower in here too. Oh, sorry, this is the Firebrand actually, which is the flamethrower. It's like a character though. It's like a special character, which makes me think that like there's like a Heretic Astartes, some type of Heretic thing coming. Because this is a super cool miniature and it's kind of like a weird character and it's on its own frame. Whenever I see that, I get like my packaging senses tingle and I think something's coming. We have a mix of autoguns, stubbers, heavy stubbers, chain swords. This will be perfect for the cult gang in Necromunda. Oh yeah, there's a grenade launcher. That's right, it's a grenade launcher, not a flamer. And then yeah, you got your little like culty dude there too, the Firebrand. So really cool miniatures. And then this frame, done in the same Adventurer Red. I'm glad they did the Adventurer Red. They kept it, so if you don't paint these and you're just using them as board game pieces, they're in the same color as the other heroes. You got the Rogue Trader Duelist, the Magos, the Astro Telepathica lady, which Psyker, and then also the Crusader, who's a classic like reimagining of the old Crusader miniature, which I love. He is so cool. And then the new like unit type, which is the retinue guy, which is the servitor with his gun. So that's one of the new core rules. And you can check all of the stuff out in the GMG review of this, but I like, who wouldn't want to spend time painting these? Like they're not, I'm not gonna like production line the cool stuff from Blackstone Fortress, because like, one, I'm not there yet, like I have to finish the Malix stuff first, and two, these models are just gorgeous. I'm gonna spend some time actually like enjoying painting them. A couple more miniatures for Song of Ice and Fire. I'm going to an event actually first weekend of September, the Sword and Brush that Clarence is running. So I'm trying to get all my unpainted stuff for Song of Ice and Fire finished, which is the last of the Stark Heroes 2, which is Sirio Farrell, the Dance Master. And he's a cool attachment for a unit. He can make them water dance. It's an order that gives them -1 to hit. But I'm using Howland Reed as my commander, which means that I just get that for free. It doesn't have to be in order. I pay points for it. So he's kind of like last on the list to get painted. And then this is the Recruiter for the Night's Watch, which is really the only new, like there's the conscripts, but I don't feel like I'd ever use them. The Recruiter, on the other hand, is a 1-point attachment that like just when you cause injuries and panic test to people, you get to heal your units. Like he sucks wounds out of other units you're fighting, which is awesome. So yeah, he's getting painted for sure, because he's a great attachment that comes in that same box. So those are the last two things I need to paint for Song of Ice and Fire for my Starks and my Night's Watch. Until like Tully Cavalier. I think Tully Cavalier is right on the 6th of September. And I'll have to try and find a box of them, because it's hard to get stuff in Canada. And then I think it's the Crossbows for the Night's Watch that I'll have a chance to get. And I gotta look at the stats for them, see if I want to get them. Well, that's it, last two things, and then I'm going to play some games. Probably record some games at Sword and Brush in the four-game event I'm doing on Sunday with Clarence. And then a huge shout out to Owen and to Alex Chenk from Giga Robo, who was at Gen Con and grabbed a copy of Wildfire for us. He ninja'd it back to Owen, and then Owen gave me the the 012 half of it. So I get to paint Space Cops. Owen and I actually played 2 games this week with Shazvasti. You get them all painted up, and was super excited to give them a go. So you'll see some Shazvasti games, I think, starting next week as Owen begins to like learn them and give them a try. And then I'm gonna start painting Space Cops. The Invincible Army is already assembled and base coated, and I'm gonna try and power through them, and then get down with the Space Cops. There's a couple more models in here. There's a Diva and some Daikinis that I'm going to paint up to make this 300 points. But I can basically make this 300 points with Hippolyta and the box set. And I'm actually going to do a review of this. I'm going to do an unboxing review of the Salvor Governmental Pack, because look at how cool this is. It's like super thick card. Like, these buildings are no joke. And this is what comes in the new starter set, which I think is just awesome. Like, I love Corvus Belli's business acumen for figuring stuff out about their game. And one of the things that they clearly know, and they've known for a long time, is that the third player in any game of Infinity is the scenery. And the scenery that they've been putting in their starter sets has just been progressively getting nicer and nicer and nicer. And this is just like no joke, like really nice cardstock terrain. And so I'm going to build a bunch of it. I think I'm going to do a review of it too, because one of the big barriers for people a lot of times playing Infinity is the terrain. And this is like, for like just coming in a starter set, this is crazy nice terrain for playing Infinity with. So we're going to check that as a whole separate feature, and then you'll start seeing me paint the 012 in the coming up weeks. So there you go, another, oh geez, I painted 6 plus 13, 19, 22 miniatures this week, so 20 more than last week. I only painted 2 last week. But as usual, I have a million things to do and a million pans in the fire, and you will get to see some of that next week when you see my next On the Paint table. This takes me to 525 miniatures for the year, so I'm 361 away from my goal. So under a miniature a day for a year left to go, and lots of stuff to paint, endless projects to do. So yeah, you'll see that next week, and you can see what I get to as far as my next sort of like jump up and leg in painting. And until then, I'm Ash. Happy working. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below so you get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.